Hi again. I forgot one prompt for the tide pool scene, and I've done this before, and it's a lot of fun. On your phones or whatever technology you have, type in Pacific Grove tide pools or Monterey Bay tide pools, and it'll come right back up. It'll come right up. Click on videos, and you get short little snippets of tide pools. Watch the action of a tide pool. They're short little videos, easily obtainable on YouTube, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then use the action from the video to describe the action of the quad. That is a very fun activity to do. And you can get a lot of really good vivid imagery out of that. All right, so I'm in chapter 15, and there's a scene where a group of men go out frog hunting. They have to collect a bunch of frogs for a scientist. Now, this scene comes directly out of John Steinbeck's visits to the concentration camps. So Steinbeck uses frogs to show man's inhumanity to man. All right, so chapter 15, and I'm on page 63. During the millennia that frogs and men have lived in the same world, it is probable that men have hunted frogs. And during that time, a pattern of hunt and parry has developed. The man with net or bow or lance or gun creeps noiselessly as he thinks toward the frog. The pattern requires that the frog sit very still and wait. The rules of the game require the frog to wait until the final flicker of a second, when the net is descending, when the lance is in the air, when the finger squeezes the trigger. Then the frog jumps, plops into the water, swims into the bottom, and waits until the man goes away. That is the way it is done. The way it has always been done. Frogs have every right to expect it will always be done that way. Now and then the net is too quick. The lance pierces, the gun flicks, and that frog is gone. But it is all fair and in the framework. Frogs don't resent that. But how could they have anticipated Mac's new method? How could they have foreseen the horror that followed, the sudden flashing of lights, the shouting and squealing of men, the rush of feet? Every frog leaped, plopped into the pool, and swam frantically to the bottom. Then into the pool plunged the line of men, stamping, churning, moving in a crazy line up the pool, flinging their feet about. Hysterically, the frogs displaced their placid spots, swam ahead of the crazy thrashing feet, and the feet came on. Frogs are good swimmers, but they haven't much endurance. Down the pool they went until finally they were bunched and crowded against the ends, and the feet and wildly plunging bodies followed them. A few frogs lost their heads and floundered among the feet and got through, and these were saved. But the majority decided to leave this pool forever to find a new home in a new country where this kind of thing didn't happen. A wave of frantic, frustrated frogs, big ones, little ones, brown ones, green ones, men frogs and women frogs, a wave of them broke over the bank, crawled, leaped, scrambled. They clambered up the grass, they clutched at each other, little ones rode on big ones, and then horror on horror, the flashlights found them. 2 men gathered them like berries. The line came out of the water and closed in on their rear and gathered them like potatoes. 10s and 50s of them were flung into the gunny sacks, and the sacks filled with tired, frightened, and disillusioned frogs, with dripping, whimpering frogs. Some got away, of course, and some had been saved in the pool. But never in frog history had such an execution taken place. Frogs by the pound, by the 50 pound. They weren't counted, but there must have been 600 or 700. Then happily Mac tied up the necks of the sacks. They were soaking, dripping wet, and the air was cool. They had a short one in the grass before they went back to their house so they wouldn't catch cold. All right, so you can see that this is more than just frogs. This is Steinbeck's vision of what he saw at the concentration camp. So here are some things to consider. So here is for 11th grade, AP Lang. It is an argument, or it can be, whoopsie. Technical difficulties here. Thanks. So this is AP Lang. However, 10th grade, if you want to tackle this one, you certainly can. So it is standard 11, writing 11.1 or 2. It can be argument or it can be expository. Argue for how a writer can convey a tragic situation by using the rhetorical strategies. Use examples from chapter 15 in Cannery Row. So clearly there's personification because frogs, I doubt frogs are thinking at the level that Steinbeck portrays them. There's definite repetition. There's, something we haven't focused on yet, which is a loose sentence where there's a list at the end of a sentence. Definitely there's that. So definitely focus on imagery, personification, and syntax. All right. Then this is for 10th grade, but AP Lang, you're welcome to use this as well, although, no, it's definitely for 10th grade. All right, so 10th grade. Use technology, 10.4, writing 10.4. Record yourself delivering your original monologue. You may include your friends, but use a split screen. Keep the monologue classroom appropriate. Now, I know you guys are really, really social, and here's your chance. It really wouldn't be a monologue if all of you got together, so you can say that it's a duo or a trio, but have fun with it. So you can go back to the tide pool. We started monologue, which is why I'm coming back to it, and I really want to make things enjoyable for you and make me laugh. Keep it appropriate. I know some of you could do this in 5s. I know who you are. Some of you would do this in 3s. Some of you would do this in 4s. Some of you would do this in 2s. Have fun and keep it appropriate. And here's another one, 10th grade. Compare the frog scene in chapter 15 in Cannery Row to show the inhumanity and mistreatment of people towards each other. So use examples from your own experiences and use examples from this chapter to show how people mistreat each other. This one is for 11th grade. Writing 11.1. Argue to show the ironies. Oh, this is another chapter. All right, hang on.